Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to those of you around the world. Welcome to the daily Trade the Chain crypto update, where we give you everything you need to know for the next 24 hours and hopefully the next few days. Today is Friday, January 19th. Crypto market definitely experiencing that pullback that we've been talking about. Bitcoin swept its yearly low, and ETH swept last week's low. So, definitely playing out how we kind of were thinking. Now we need to see current levels hold. So, where we're at right now is total crypto market cap 1.6 trillion, Bitcoin slightly down 1.5%, ETH only down 0.5%. Tweet volume down, trading volume is back up. Remember, it was in the 50s. Now we're close to the 70s. Sentiment, mostly neutral for ETH, starting to creep into that bearish level. For Bitcoin, an average daily sentiment is still only 50 out of 100. Stablecoin exchange flows saw a lot come out, interestingly enough. So probably some profit takers, I would guess. Only one big kind of chunk, nothing kind of, nothing kind of consistent. So that is certainly a positive thing to see. And we do still have some crazy winners. This UMA is up like crazy. MXC's token, and a couple other crap coin. So looking at Bitcoin daily sentiment, not too much has changed. It is creeping a little bit lower. We do have a nice little buyback here. That could be the sweep we're looking for. So hopefully this starts to turn around a little bit, seeing a little bit more tweet volume action. So we'll be monitoring this over the weekend. Hope that kind of curls higher. ETH is, looks a little bit better, still had some of that bullishness and, hasn't dipped too far down. We are seeing that possible sweep as well. So do want to continue to see that curl up into the weekend as well. DXY, really not much has changed. Does look more rejection-y, though. We have a lot of wicks beneath the 1 hour or the 12-hour estimated 200 moving average. So definitely want to see that curl back down. Equities do look pretty good, all things considered. We talked about market structure quite a lot. And market structure on LTF and high time frames. Lower time frames is LTF, HTF is high time frame. Does look good. So I'm going to kind of zoom out to a 4 hour here, get kind of in between low and high time frame. This is still kind of a low time frame for equities. But as we can see, we did get that lower low, right? But then we got that higher high, and then we formed a higher low, and now we have a higher high, right? So equity is looking very good, and that's what still gives me hope for the crypto market as well, is because the thesis has always been if equities are heading higher, so should crypto, as they are in the risk category. So nice double tweezer bottom here, bounce at this 47.95 resistance, moved up to, didn't exactly get to 48.20, got to 48.18, but certainly what we want to see. If you get above 48.20, you will be making new highs. As we recall, or as you should recall, this 4th of January 2022 was the high, and we are right at that high. So definitely want to see a break above the high. And then it's kind of off to the races. We're going to be in price discovery. So I'm not going to dig in too much into possibilities here, but typically the easiest way to say, okay, kind of what's the next target is do the fib retracement of the entire move, which would make 56.40 as kind of the next natural target. Now that's 800 points higher. It's quite high and will likely take a long time if we break above the 48.20 high. But as you can see, we'll be entering price discovery. And if anybody is remembering what happens in price discovery for crypto assets, it should be relatively similar for equities. Won't be as crazy of moves, but we should see some really fun and exciting price action above that high. So certainly something to monitor. And if we do break above that high, I think it'll definitely be good for the crypto market as well. Now, remember yesterday we talked about that dip below the yearly low, which is down here at 40.7. So we dipped below the yearly low, right? We got the kind of the second part of the power of three. So now we've kind of rocketed above that. So we did sweep it. Definitely really want to see it get above that 12th low as well. That'll definitely be kind of the next line in the sand. But right now, if you are long with a stop at the lows, you're not in the worst position in the world, because that is exactly the trade we talked about. You enter at the break above the yearly low, you set your stop at the current lows, Well, I guess now this will be the yearly low, but the previous yearly low. And then, now we kind of hope that it gets back up above 41.5. And if it does, then we can start talking about 42.7, 43K and possibly higher. But one thing I will say to keep in mind is that 1 hour estimated 200 moving average has been resistance, for majority of the past week. So whenever we do get up there and meet the weekly VWAP, both of those will be interesting resistance levels. And if we get above them, then it should set a springboard for us to get back up to those highs. ETH looks a lot better. Remember, we talked about this area being critical. We obviously did drop well below that yesterday, and then obviously another dip today, but that is a sweep, right? So we're back above this level. So we kind of swept, we did an original sweep, got rejected. Now we've swept again, which doesn't really give me too much, bullish, feelings, because typically I just kind of want to see one sweep and then see it move higher. But right now, this is still technically good. If you are long with a stop down here at these lows, not the worst trade in the world. You would definitely be looking, first area of resistance is going to be at this 2,500, 2,515 level, confluence of 1 hour estimated 200 moving average, as well as weekly VWAP. But if you can get back up to kind of 2,550, then you do have possibility to break above that and then springboard back up to local highs. So this is a very good position to be in, all things considered, even with the dump. Very good kind of buyback candle. So now we want to see follow through. And if you're late to the trade, I would wait to see if it got above the 1 hour estimated 200 moving average and or the weekly VWAP, and then maybe enter on a kind of a bounce up there, or maybe short on a rejection if you are looking for lower. But I still am not interested in shorting with equities moving higher. I do kind of like the look of things right now. So I'm hoping to see us kind of chop a little bit higher into the weekend. And then remember, we talked about what happens in that power of three. So maybe a lot of people get long kind of expecting something like this, but what they actually get is something like this, right? And then maybe it's not that deep. So maybe it's something like this. And then we kind of fall back and everybody's like, oh, I'm going to short right here. I'm going to short right here. And then we just kind of zoom up higher, because that's the power of three. You've got your one, you've got your two, your dip on two, and then you've got your tap on three, and then move higher. So that would not shock me to see a grind up into Sunday, a sell off Sunday into Monday, back down to this level here, and then we kind of move up higher to kind of complete that power of three. So, but again, that still stands for the current trade, because ideally we just hold right here at this low and then move higher from that low if we end up dropping back down, right? So that's the ideal trade. But if you are in the trade now, you're certainly not losing. You just have to be very cognizant of where your stop is and what your risk tolerance is. So, right now, although, definitely dip, not fun. We did warn about possible dip, talked about the reasons why yesterday, GBTC outflows and things of that nature, as well as just selling the news after a big kind of cycle. But the thesis has always been, if equities are moving higher, things look a lot better than they seem. And so right now we see Bitcoin stay above 40.75, and we want to see ETH stay above 2458, 2460. If both of those can do that into the weekend, things look a lot better heading into next week. So with that being said, good luck. Happy trading. See everybody next week. And if you're not in the TTC community, you're missing out on a lot of good alpha information for daily trades, macro updates, weekly trades, and even more. So we'd love to see you guys in there. You can get in there at www.tradethechain.com. 14-day free trial gets you access to everything. So see everybody next week.